Since the release of the Pop Star Academy documentary, which followed KATSEYE from their early training days to their debut, viewers have been left with some questions. While it highlighted their journey, certain moments in the film sparked curiosity: are the girls genuinely close, or does some tension from the show still linger? Across 8 episodes, Pop Star Academy followed the intense journey of over 20 trainees as they trained and competed for a chance to debut. The show captured the pressures they faced, from grueling practices and eliminations to personal conflicts and rivalries. Now, seeing as they were all in their teenage years, with the oldest being 21, one would understand why they didn't get along. After all, they were all competing with each other, so it was only normal for them to feel jealous or even upset towards the other girls. However, based on remarks and posts from both current and former trainees, it appears their issues weren't fully worked out. This raises the question, what's the dynamic between the members and the other girls like today? Most trainees seem very supportive of the current members, even commenting on their posts on social media and posting TikTok to the group's songs. That doesn't seem to be the case for everyone though. Adela and Naisha, among the eliminated contestants, seem to have the most issues with Manon. To explain, Manon struggled to understand the demands of the K-pop training system and initially treated it too casually, even comparing it to school, where skipping days was an option if she felt unwell. Her frequent absences, partly due to having COVID at the time, seemed to have frustrated the other trainees, who began questioning her commitment to the program. Not only did her lack of effort disrupt the group's teamwork, but they also had to prepare 2 versions of choreography in case she didn't show up. This left the others feeling that she was being selfish and didn't deserve her spot, as they believed she wasn't putting in the same level of dedication. Naisha didn't show any signs of conflict with her at first, at least not on camera. She was actually eliminated in the 4th episode for violating her NDA, so she was gone before the conflict started taking place. Adela, on the other hand, was voted out right after the show shifted from judges' decisions to public voting. Adela ranked 20th, while Manon placed 4th. In episode 7, after both are eliminated, Adela and Naisha appear on a beach, with Adela suggesting Manon doesn't deserve to move forward or debut in the group due to her lack of commitment during training. She's heard saying she breaks the rules and she doesn't get penalized for it. Like, now it's being completely ignored. It's surprising because we naively thought something else. Seeing Naisha and Adela after their elimination stirred up some debate, especially since they were no longer in the program. Fans were upset that other trainees, including those who actually made it into the group, barely got any screen time, while Naisha and Adela were seen discussing how they felt Manon didn't deserve her spot even after their elimination. While her feelings were valid, many people argued that she went about them the wrong way, as Naisha was also flamed for the things she did after the show had already aired. Particularly, a comment she left on Lara's post caused the majority of the group's fans to turn against her. In the comment in question, Naisha says that she's proud of Lara and that she deserves her spot in the group. She then says that Lara has to hold it down for the brown girls, but she's going to end up having to hold it down for the black girls as well. To fans, this was a weird thing to say, considering that Manon, a black girl, had also made it into the group. Not only that, but Naisha was eliminated from the program before Lara had even come in, so to make these comments on her page, shading Manon was uncalled for. Later, Lara unfollowed her. Naisha was also accused of commenting and showing support to every single one of the members, except for Manon. Fans found the situation frustrating, especially since Manon had always been kind and supportive of Naisha, especially after she got booted out. Despite this, Naisha badmouthed her after being eliminated, even though Manon had literally nothing to do with Naisha leaking songs online, which was the reason for her elimination or her conflict with the program manager Missy. For Adela, well, she's undoubtedly the person that got talked about the most after the show aired. Adela ranked high consistently throughout the first few episodes, as she put a lot of effort into everything. She showed up to practice earlier, practiced in her free time, and even helped the other trainees with whatever they needed. She was also well liked by both the girls and the judges, with Missy being particularly fond of her. However, Adela became frustrated with Manon when she began skipping practices, and she showed it the most. In a private chat with Dr. Wetter, the program's psychologist, she expressed her frustration that Manon was receiving a lot of attention even though she missed team practices. Adela stated that she felt as if the support for Manon was based solely on her looks rather than her contributions to the team. Now, fans weren't exactly mad about the way she was feeling because, to some degree, it was understandable. It would be frustrating for most of us to be putting in a lot of work and effort into something, constantly rank high, get praised because of it, and then be dropped in an instant. After all, the girls joined the program to be judged on their skills and performance, and were basically promised to debut as long as they put in the work. However, once Manon entered and gained public attention, ranking shifted from being based on talent to who the public favored, which must have felt upsetting for the others. While her feelings were valid, many people argued that she went about them the wrong way, as her repeated criticism of Manon, even after leaving the show, only made people dislike her more. Many felt her comments comments were excessive and unnecessary, making it seem like she thought that Manon was the sole reason for her elimination. It's safe to say that the negativity towards Adela lingered long after the show ended, but what's the actual relationship between her and Manon when the cameras aren't rolling and there's no editing? Well, if we judge by social media interactions, things still seem to be rocky. After the survival show ended, Adela wrote congratulatory messages under the posts of all the KATSEYE members, except for Manon, which raised a lot of questions. After the backlash, she commented congrats on Manon's picture, but that frustrated people even more. A Twitter user directly asked her about this, pointing out that as a public figure, leaving out a few girls while congratulating and posting pictures with everyone else is likely to raise questions. The viewer then expressed disappointment, even though they didn't want to assume the worst. To this, Adela responded by saying that she had never been that close to Manon since they weren't in the same groups and didn't live in the dorm together. She explained that she congratulated her personally, but only posted public congratulations for those she was closer to. Then she went on to write, "I saw that people were being weird about it, so I posted the congrats, but that just upset everyone more. There wasn't malicious intent, we just weren't tight." The explanation got mixed responses. Some said that the issue wasn't as deep, and these were just the realities of survival shows. The girls weren't all going to be close to each other due to the program's competitive nature, which was okay. It's not like people get along with all of their co-workers, for example, and if they do, it's not like they're close to everyone. They also noted that since Adela wasn't a part of the Dream Academy when the final lineup was voted, it was confusing why people were still checking up on her and seeking her opinions. However, others said that Adela was just being petty by not congratulating Manon. One commenter pointed out that it would be understandable if she only mentioned a few members, but if she was close with all but one, it would have been respectful to include that person too. According to them, she didn't even have to write a long, loving message and pretend that their relationship was something that it wasn't, but a simple congratulations would have sufficed. Adela once again addressed the relationship between the two on a TikTok posted on August 26th. Adela started by expressing gratitude for the support she received. She also responded to the criticism, clarifying that the docuseries only offered a brief view of the trainees' lives. With 2 years of footage squeezed into 8 episodes, many details were left out, even though Adela didn't specifically mention what happened. Overall, the two weren't anything but two trainees who just happened to be on the same program and nothing more. The part of the show that got the most attention, though, was the apparent feud between Sophia, Lara, and Manon. As mentioned, everyone was upset with Manon for missing practice often, and they were also shocked when Adela ended up ranking 20th. Lara was particularly surprised to see Adela ranked 20th, given that the judges had frequently praised her. While this reaction was expected, some were annoyed when Lara commented that seeing less dedicated contestants rank higher was just stupid. She felt the rankings weren't about talent or effort, but rather about looks. Lara had also snickered when Manon went back to practice, which was seen as unnecessary and mean. As for Sophia, she was the one who confronted Manon during a discussion they had about her work ethic. For context, Manon had a conversation with Missy, letting her know she wanted to address the group. Once everyone was in the practice room, Manon shared how frustrated she had been feeling about the situation. She admitted she had missed some practices, but pointed out that the others had done the same. However, it felt like she was the only one being called out for it. Curious about their thoughts, she asked the group and Sophia responded, saying the program was all about discipline, hard work, and paying attention, including small things like taking notes. Manon pushed back, saying she had been taking notes, which had even been shown in earlier episodes. But as she tried to defend herself, Missy interrupted, telling her to listen. Sophia clarified that Manon's skills weren't the issue, it was her inconsistency in showing up. Still, she ended on a positive note, telling Manon she believed in her, which Manon found touching. After explaining her side of things, Manon's honesty seemed to resonate with the other trainees, and they acknowledged her improvement. The girls managed to settle things right away, though some viewers weren't happy with how Sophia handled it. They felt she unfairly called out Manon for no real reason. It made sense for them to be frustrated, but criticizing Manon for supposedly not taking notes and zoning out just once felt unnecessary. As for Lara, she got the most hate for the comments she made about Manon, which made people wonder whether the friendship that the girls were displaying for the public was real or not. They might have patched things up for the sake of the group, but how real was it really? Well, the girls addressed the claims multiple times. Sophia reflected on their journey, mentioning how a few years ago they were just young and inexperienced, navigating an incredibly intense process. Now, as both KATSEYE members, they have grown so much that their bond feels unshakable. Manon also referred to the girls as her sisters, saying that she was glad to have them by her side during the experience. They even made jokes about their alleged beef, with Lara and Manon posting a TikTok saying, "We're literally fine." Whatever their issues were, it's clear that they have gotten past them and are working actively to make sure that their bond only grows.